All right, so let's try this next question out, where this question reads, what is the width? So when we start with that question sentence, width is oftentimes correlated with a shape, like a square, triangle, sometimes triangles, rectangles, parallelogram. So I already have a hint in my head that, yeah, we're dealing with shapes. We might be dealing with geometry. Let's see what we're doing here. I want the width, and we're dealing with a rectangle that has a perimeter of 62 inches and a length of 20. What is the width? Okay, so here's what I know. I know that I'm dealing with a rectangle. I know I have perimeter, and then I have one of the dimensions, the length. Okay, so I'm already set in stone. My mind is made up. I know that we are dealing with the perimeter of a rectangle. So the perimeter of a rectangle is going to be read as double the length plus double the width. And so this is where a lot of folks who are refreshing for the first time might get a little stuck when it comes to building the confidence that they need. So let me first walk you through, when it comes to solving equations like this in word problems, number one rule is plug the values into the right places. One more time, plug the right values into the right places. Sometimes some folks see the word perimeter, then see 62 and 20, and they're going to want to throw those numbers in here and just see what happens. However, though, we have to understand what the numbers mean. Again, we can't rush to conclusions. Ask what the number means. Here it says the perimeter is 62. So I'm going to replace the perimeter right here with 62. That's exactly what I'll do. And then it says a length of 20 inches. So I'll go over here and just say that the length is 20 inches. Again, just like that. And then from there, we continue on to say double the width. So I'll just say 2 times W. Okay, so now that we're here, my party people, this is where we think about the different ways that we can equip ourselves to solve equations. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to really take my time here to show you both ways to solve this. So let me put both of these side by side. So again, I can really show you 2 different ways of thinking that are both correct, and I just want to equip you for the future. So let's go ahead and work here on the left side by first looking at this and saying, hey, let's clean this up right here. Everybody, what's 2 times 20? What's that going to be? 2 times 20, yeah, that's 40. Okay, so we'll have 62 equals 40 plus 2W. And from here, everyone, it looks like we have the 2W, and then we have the 40. I'm going to want to get rid of that 40 first before I try to get rid of the 2, because when it comes to solving equations, again, you want to do the opposite of order of operations. You want to work backwards from the end. So here, the last thing I would do is add 40. So I'm going to do the opposite of adding 40 by subtracting it on both sides. Once I do that, we get a cancellation on the right side, giving me over here 22 equals 2W. All right, so everybody, what's the opposite? What's the opposite operation and number that we need to do to get rid of that 2 that's just sticking right there alongside the W? That'll be division. Absolutely, division by 2 on both sides. Remember, when you have these values, these numbers here just plugged next to each other, that means that we're multiplying those values together. So that's 2 times W. And so we'll do the opposite of that by dividing by 2 on both sides, and then we get W by itself after canceling out. W equals 11. So there's our answer, it's 11. But who here would like to see perhaps a much quicker way to solving this, particularly when it comes to solving backwards with perimeter for a rectangle? All right, cool, sounds good. Let's go ahead and give it a shot here. So I want you to consider this anytime you're trying to work backwards from perimeter for rectangle specifically. One more time, for rectangle specifically, and this always works. This just really depends on your confidence with numbers. Seriously. Everybody, quick question. Let's take a look at the right side over here. Can you tell me, let me erase this from earlier. Can you tell me what we notice about not the 2 over here and the 2 over here. Everybody, can you look at this 62 over here? Is 62 an even number? It is, right? Can anybody tell me what's true about all even numbers? What is true about all even numbers? What can be done to all even numbers? Yeah, they can all be divided by 2. They can all be divided by 2. Watch this. Everybody, if I were to divide this by 2, this entire side by 2, and this entire side over here by 2, watch what happens. I can cancel out each of these 2's because the way it truly looks is you are dividing the entire side by 2. So you're dividing this little group here and dividing this little group here. So what ends up happening, my party people, is that the 2's all cancel. Everybody, what is 62 divided by 2? 62 divided by 2 is going to give us what? 31. Look at how clean this is. 31 equals 20 plus W. The last thing I have to do here, everybody, is subtract 20. Can anybody tell me what 31 minus 20 is? Anybody? What's that going to be? 31 minus 20, that's 11. And there we are. W equals 11 in the same way that we did previously. And I want to go ahead and just show you both ways one more time before we continue. Number one, over here, this is the way that I really want you to practice at first. I really want you to practice the pure plugging the numbers in and then solving the equation straight up. Because as you get more practice with this, I promise you, you're going to be looking for ways to cut your time in half. You'll be looking for ways to spend less time on the same stuff. And that's where something like this might come in handy. Because when we take a look at this, I'm going to just rewrite this fraction like this, where you divide all terms by 2. When you divide everything by 2, that's what that looks like. This cancels here, this cancels there, and this just becomes a 31, making the problem that you have so much easier. So much easier. But again, I don't recommend trying to jump to this if you don't understand how to solve standard equations. My party people, I hope that one helps. And I hope you're ready for another one. All right, next question up. And what we're going to do first is identify the problem, identify what we're trying to achieve. So here, this problem says, what distance does the tugboat cover? But here's the key word right there, upstream. So yeah, we want to cover distance, but there it is. We are going upstream. So now that we know that, let's understand the other pieces of information that are given to us, and we'll go from there. So here it says, a tugboat can travel 29 miles per hour, but the key word there is calm water. So without a current, 29 miles an hour. And then it says traveling against a 6 mile per hour current, again, which is the same thing as saying upstream. What are we going to do with that 6 mile per hour current, everybody? If we're fighting the current, what does it do to our original still water speed? Yeah, we're going to subtract from it. Absolutely. So this 29 mile per hour speed, we are going to subtract the 6 mile per hour current because, again, we're going upstream. So my rate is going to be equal to 29 miles per hour minus 6 miles per hour, which is going to be 23 miles per hour. So now that we have that, everybody, now that we have 23 miles per hour, we are going to multiply that by time. And that's going to be given to us right over here in case we forgot it or overlooked it. That's going to be 8 hours. So from there, we're going to go ahead and do distance equals my rate, 23 miles per hour, multiplied by time, which is 8 hours. And that'll give us the correct final answer. Here we go, 23 times 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry the 2 is 18. So that will be 184 miles. And that is none other than answer choice B. And there we go.